as well. That's buymeacoffee.com/Young H. Wood BLST. That's all one little lowercase word. Thank you so much. So let's get into it. We have some exciting things coming up on this broadcast. Let's talk about that. What's new? Okay, so you can sponsor our channel directly on Haps. That's the first thing. This is new for us. We just are so excited to announce that we finally have achieved. We've become eligible for audience sponsorship here at YHB News on Haps. That is something we've been working towards for many months, and we want to thank our entire audience for encouraging us, keeping us going, and yeah, it's been quite a journey. So now when you visit our page on Haps, all you have to do is click the Buy Me a Coffee button for more options to show your support for our channel. So thank you so much, everyone. That is the first bit of exciting news. The second bit is that, well, this isn't quite so new, but our website is being updated. So we had to move our website, and it's in migration mode. It also needs to be like reconfigured for the new space it's in. That's very technical language for it. It's under construction. So no worries, you can still get our award-winning weekly digital publication on Paperly, and that's living over at our website that is starts with news.theyounghollywoodblast.com. So again, that's at news.theyounghollywoodblast.com, and that's also listed up in our comments here on Haps. If you are on here and you want to scroll up to the top, there's going to be a lot of comments here today, but it should be the second comment, and I'll just present that on screen as well. Have some really curated, highly curated information there for our audience on everything about inclusion, emerging talent. Just it's an award-winning publication for a reason, and it's because this is created by a community of people, and your news goes in here every week. And so we can't thank you enough for being subscribers to that publication. Now we have the last little update for what's new. Let's see, let's go back here and see what it is. Oh my goodness, this is the most exciting yet. Summer break is ahead. Woohoo! Who else is excited for summer break? It's been an amazing 3 months is it only 3 months? It feels like more, guys. It feels like a lot more. I had a summer break announcement. Oh, I forgot to upload it. Oh well, you'll just have to hear me screaming, it's gonna be summer break soon. Yeah! Woo! So we are off July and August. Yes, we are going to be off for July and August, but and let me know if you guys can hear me okay. I know I had been kind of fiddling around here in the back end, and so yeah, I hope you guys can hear me okay. But yeah, July and August is when it's happening, and there will be a lot of work going on here though. So we are going to be updating the website that I told you about, and we'll be conducting featured interviews designing our new community space. We've been talking about that here over the last couple months, guys, with you, our members. So we're going to be continuing that process. And we are also going to be getting our Buy Me a Coffee page up and running. Right now it's on a soft launch, but we are going to be, really getting that under construction. And so you can still, if you want to keep up to date with what's going on with us over the summer, that is where, oh, sorry guys, I'm just in the back end here. Um, the Yes. So if you want to learn more about what we're working on over the summer, Buy Me a Coffee, our Buy Me a Coffee page is the place to do that. So this is again our link to buymeacoffee.com. And you're welcome to contribute there even while we're on a soft launch. So that's it for all of our announcements. We're making that super quick because we have a super exciting show for you today, and it involves us doing our first community panel. How exciting is this? And we'll be doing our community member announcements. So let's talk about the community member announcements so you know what to do, because this is, I think, the first time a lot of people might be here. If people are hopping into the comments, I'm going to hop over there and see if anybody is talking, saying hello. Has anybody dropped in? And I want to thank everyone who is watching the broadcast live. Thank you so much for coming in here this early in the morning on a Friday. I know I barely got over here, and I have to apologize for the slightly delayed start. If you heard a lot of like kerfuffle and hopping around in the background, that was me. Hope I wasn't swearing, because that was me trying to hop into the seat and get going. But the technical stuff, it's a lot. There's a lot of moving flying parts, but I want to thank you so much for being patient with that. So again, we have our first community panel and our community member announcements. So what that means is if you are a community member that's watching, if you are a community member that's watching, you can drop a link to your creative work in the comments to have your work announced on air. And we invite you to join us on HAPS to do that, because that way we'll be able to present what you're dropping into our comments here on screen. Okay, so this is what you'll be doing. If you want to have an announcement of your work on screen, you're going to I'm trying to put this up on screen so you guys can see what I'm saying. Drop a link. Drop that link to your creative work in the comments to have your work announced on air. So that's that. We're going to start getting ready back here. I'm going to greet my guests who are already streaming in to the green room. I'm going to check on them, see how they're doing, make sure everybody's good to go. I know some of them may need to hop off a little bit before, but that's okay, because we're just thankful that they can stop in. Priorities come first. This is 6:52 in the morning Pacific time, just about 8 to 10 East Coast. So I know you're in the middle of your workday, and we are just so grateful that our guests could be here. So I'm going to have a short break. While we're doing that, I'm going to invite our guests to post their socials into the comments. Take off the lock button if it was on, and just post those socials into the comments so I can put those up there during the break. We're going to have 5 minutes now to get ourselves settled in, and we can get everybody going with this first panel. So excited, so excited. Okay, see you guys in 5 minutes. Hey everyone, we are just settling back in here. We are getting set up in the back here for our amazing panel of guests. And I'm going to help them get settled in here. We're going to do a quick and very informal sound check and make sure that everyone's mic is working. So I'm just going to go down the line and make sure that everyone is unmuted. Just give me a second to just pop these all on. Let's check Darian.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Great. We got you. And Z Wolf.
Hey, how's it going?
Great. And Indra?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. Thank you. And let's see, Shala.
Good morning.
Yay, we can hear you. So we're all checked. We're all checked in. So I'm going to get ready and announce everyone now. You guys, I am so thankful and just amazed at this panel of guests that have come together in such a short amount of time. We have with us this morning uh, 4 panelists from our community here at the Young Hollywood Blast, and the topic that we'll be talking about today is going to be, first of all, this is just so exciting, meaningful self-care and community care in the face of hustle culture. Now, this topic was taken straight from a tweet from one of our community members. I'm going to introduce them all shortly, but we're going to look at what that tweet was because it was so like it just shocked and rocked my world when I saw it on the screen. And I think shortly after that, it just started, really getting everyone's attention, and it's gone viral. So we're going to be talking about this topic with our 4 guests. Our guest, Indra Bartona, producer, will be joining us. We'll have Shala Evans, audiobook narrator and writer. We're also going to have Darian Jordan of Dekej Media, who's a filmmaker, and Daniel Moscovici, filmmaker, and of Z Wolf, a Yamcha story. And Daniel, I hope I've said your name right. I didn't even double check to see if that was right at all. But I'm just going to unmute everyone now, and I know that a lot of you said, what I'm going to do is just leave this picture up. And if you want to come on screen, let me know. Because I see some of you have some amazing, you look amazing. I don't. And that's why I'm off camera. It's like 6:30 and, well, 7 now. So if you want to appear on camera, just let me know and I'll pop you on the screen. But welcome, everyone.
Thank you.
Hello. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It is so exciting to have you all here. And as I mentioned, we're going to be talking about this topic that was raised by Shala's tweet. So let's take a look at that tweet right now and see what she says here. Oh, of course, now it's gone blurry. So I'll read it out loud for you. I did check my internet connection. So hopefully, okay, here we go. Here, please don't brag about how you do without adequate sleep in order to make time for your art. Please. That bill will come due for most of us. The human body and mind can break in amazingly terrible ways. Please do not glamorize destructive behaviors or encourage others in it. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Now, I know I was very moved by all of this in so many ways. So were all the people that have looked at this tweet. The comment thread is off the chain. if you want to see that tweet, I'm actually going to pop that into the comments right now. So anybody watching, you can click over there and take a look. But let's start with, I know Daniel might have to hop off soon. So I wanted to just get like, what are your initial thoughts seeing that in light of our topic for today?
I'm going
All
first, I
right, putting
guess.
you on the spot, Daniel.
No, not at
Putting you
all.
on the spot.
I wasn't sure if it was my turn or not.
Yes,
Well,
sorry, man. It's your turn. And did I say your last name right? I'm so sorry.
Moscovich, but it's fine. Moscovici is the most common
I'm
pronunciation
just
that I
making
get.
up
So,
new names for you. I'm
oh, I've been
sorry.
called worse. There's so many variations back there. Yeah. So, no, this tweet is complete common sense. I mean, there's certain things in life you just can't avoid, and R&R and basically downtime is one of them. We all want to give the impression, or not just the impression, or actually want to be as productive as possible and as take charge of the day kind of thing as much as possible. But at the end of the day, I mean, the body needs maintenance, the body needs rest, the body needs to cool down. It's just
Yes,
complete common sense.
it does. It does. And, knowing that a lot of our panel members, they're getting, well, I know at least two of them, because we've been talking for a few months, are getting ready to film some projects and probably be working, I don't know, 14-hour days, 16
Most
hours. Is
likely.
that
Yeah.
potential? I see heads nodding back here. You guys can't see them. They look great. Can I put you on screen, either of you? Darian and
Sure.
Sure.
okay, I'm gonna put you both on right now. This
I'm just
is
warning you now. If your internet breaks, it's my fault.
yeah, it's your fault. It's your fault all the time. We love looking at both of you, and just just thinking about this topic, um, managing your self-care, and that you have just a short amount of time. Darian, how long is your project filming?
It will only be, because it's just reshoots, it'll only be about a day and a half. But still a long day and a half.
Long day, meaning it might be a 25, 26-hour day.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. It could be that it depends on a lot of different factors, and we try to keep things pretty tight in our schedule, especially with this particular project, because we're going to be using the university's gear, and also we try to follow restrictions around timing for our cast, especially because there's limitations. You can only have them work about 12 hours, or you have to start paying them overtime. And we're a real small budget, so if we can just keep it to the day rate, that's the goal. But for the crew anyway, it's going to be an early start and a late finish, especially
Okay.
on the main day of shooting.
So, and welcome. We want to welcome Darian Jordan to the program as well. I'm just going to be very honest with everyone. This is my first panel, so I have to just if you can please forgive me for any moderating faux pas. I don't even know if that's a word, but I just want to thank you all for being my first panel. So
Thank you for having us.
and it was created right here. Actually, these two people here, Daniel and Darian, came up with the idea last week. They're like, we should do a panel. So I'm giving you guys the credit.
No.
Thank you for that. So it's going to be a early start, late finish. What about for you, Daniel, with Z Wolf?
We're looking at about 10 days.
10
Because
days.
Darren already filmed a good portion of it, so it's essentially pickups, if I understand correctly. For us,
Yes.
we're starting. We haven't shot a lick of film yet, and come August, camera lights action, and me crying like a little baby in a corner, being so happy. So yeah, because there's so many hats to spin, so many hats to wear, so many plates to spin. Like I'm even mixing the euphemism basically. But yeah, it's amazing, and it's challenging, and it's a headache, and it's a pain, and it's pure joy.
Right. But at the same time, I guess, yeah, this is where it comes into that idea of what we're, how do you take care of yourself and also your community of creators that you're working with, your team, your crew. And I the it just feels like the the independent film environment, and other film environments, they can create this sense of, hurry up, wait, stress out, get it done yesterday kind of thing. How do you take care of yourselves? And either one of you can pick up on that, and then we're gonna get Indra and Shala in here.
Um, so I'll speak to this since I am just doing pickups this time. And this project was actually quite stressful in the early days of putting it all together because we were doing it specifically tied to my master's degree at the time. And then COVID happened and everything kind of changed and we didn't get to finish. But the lead up to all of that was incredibly stressful. We were running on tight deadlines. Um, Timing was just a mess and like all kinds of things were going on. And I think one of the things that's important to remember for yourself first is you can't really make good art, at least not at the level that you want to, if you aren't taking care of yourself. Um, you know, if you're burnt out, you're not gonna be able to put your best into it. And like I love the stress that comes with filmmaking. Um,
Ah.
but to a certain degree, it's like it's more so the pressure of like working towards a deadline, working in high stakes environment, but it shouldn't be to the point that you're like running yourself into the ground because you're not going to be able to like do what you need to do, especially like, Daniel was talking about like juggling different roles. Like I'm in the same position, like I'm the director of this project, but this time for the reshoot, I'm also going to have to step up into producer. So I'm juggling multiple hats. And of course, because, we're still dealing with COVID, there's COVID restrictions that we have to film under and like thinking about how I can get my cast and crew safely to location and back and all of that, and keeping them safe on set. So there's just a lot of juggling that's going on, but I cannot bring the best of myself if I'm not taking care of myself. And I learned that the hard way the last time because like we made a lot of mistakes on and off set. And as the director, like I feel like because I wasn't fully taking care of myself, like I was dealing with grief at the time and some other things, and I was juggling all of that. I did not bring myself to the project, the best of myself to the project. And it showed in the way that we made mistakes that even led to us having to reshoot in the first place. So it's important. And it's also important to keep like, this is something I'm actually kind of good at. Like, I'm good at keeping my crew well cared for. It's myself that I drop the ball. But like checking in with them on set when I had an issue with my sound designer last time. She was dealing with some personal issues. And so I was just like, go outside, take a walk. We'll get the camera reset in here and we'll let you know we're ready for you. Or like taking the time to check in with my producer to make sure that she was okay at the time. She's not working with the project anymore, so it's now me. One of my crew members fell and like hurt herself a little bit. And I was like, listen, sit down, we're gonna ice it. You just like rest, we'll take care of the rest of this. So I'm good at taking care of everyone else on set and making sure that everyone else is taking care of themselves. It's me that I have to do better so that I can be my best self to lead my crew, to lead my team, to make the best possible project.
Yes, and that I really picked up on that key idea of, we will think about everyone else, but ourselves as, the leaders on our projects at times, you drop the ball in self-care, in order to take care of your community. And Shala actually has something she wanted to pop in and add to this. Shala, go ahead.
Thank you, Darian. I wish I could give you a hug. Like, I just want to say that when we talk about bringing our best self to a project, and I do this too, um, it's so easy to think that there's this platonic peak performance best self out there that we hit or we fail to achieve. And holy cow, it sounds like you started this project with a lot of obstacles that you would never have been dealing with in normal circumstances. And you showed up and you took care of other people through that. So, just mad respect for what you've done.
Thank
And I
you.
wish we could all be kinder with ourselves and give ourselves the love and understanding and support that we give to people on our crews and on our teams. Because, yeah, nobody's been in optimal circumstances for a long time. And the fact that you've been able to do what you've done in these circumstances, it's extraordinary. And I really hope you see that. And if I ever get to meet you, I'm absolutely in line to give you a hug if you're a hug person.
Absolutely. I love hugs. Thank you so much.
I can tell you one thing: the lineup is going to be pretty long. I'm very curious.
Sounds like it.
Oh,
It's amazing. Indra, I'd love to hear, and thank you so much for that addition, Shala. That's Shala Evans, and she's speaking from the green room area, just like me. But I don't want to be on camera. This would also break the camera at the moment. But Indra, would you like to be on screen?
Yes, that's fine.
Yes, let's bring Indra in here and welcome her. Indra Bartona, thank you so much for being here this morning. And you look amazing. Look at that background, everyone.
It's
I
part
love
of my
it.
studio set.
It's part of your set.
Yes, yes, for my show. So it's just one of my sets.
Oh wow, yes. And this is why it was so wonderful that you could make some time to come in here and talk with us this morning. Indra has a brand new show that just dropped this week, and it's all about self-care. I just watched the first episode and I was lulled into a sense of like I felt like I was meditating just listening to you talk. And it was just the most amazing, like short, like, but it dropped me right in to thinking about how can I take care of myself during the day. What are your thoughts here about, I know you're a producer, you work on in the film world as well. How do you take care of yourself on set? How do you manage that and manage you know everything else?
Well, I think the main thing is that when you have whatever your project is, whether it's film or whether it's a TV or whatever the project is, I think it's difficult for us, as kind of putting everybody else together. We're always focused on the team. And I think in some ways you have to be focused on the team. But at the same time, if we aren't being taken care of, first, and if we're not just doing some basic things for ourselves, and we all need a timeout. I found that before um, when I was shooting my music show, and I wasn't taking enough breaks, but I was making sure everybody else, which I think Darian was mentioning something like that earlier, that she's very good at making sure everybody else is taken care of. But I think it's just like the basics, like you know, um, coming back to how do I feel? Do I need to have a break? Um, Even my show this week was focusing on even starting off in the morning. In your morning, I think is really important. Even if you can't carry it out throughout the rest of the day, your mindset, taking care of yourself, and I think it all starts with a positive outlook in the morning and how we can start that morning and then try to take that into the rest of the day.
Great. Yes. And you know, I'm looking at the time because I know, Daniel, are you good? Do you need to hop off? I know you needed to.
I think I got about 5 more minutes or so. So I'm enjoying
Okay.
this. I'm trying to stay as much as I can.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to, thank you for that, Indra. Just all the idea of that. And I do have to apologize again because this is my first time hosting this many guests and managing all the pieces in the back end here. So you guys are gems for being here. But I just wanted to be honest with the audience that I'm no expert on moderating. If anybody hears something that they are, you know, they pick up on, please feel free to jump in and talk with each other. Um, and thanks, guys. They're all encouraging me here in the back end. Just feel free if you hear a piece that someone says to hop in and just, you know, I'm sure you'll know how to. You're very respectful of each other, so I know you'll know what to do. I had a question. Um, Thank you, everyone. I wanted to ask a question of Shala about what what prompted that tweet. You know, where did the idea come from? And I'd love to hear more about that.
Okay, you totally put me on the spot with this. It's okay, but I have to laugh. And before I say that, I do want to say it's a pleasure to be here. It's an honor to be on your first panel. Darian and Daniel, thank you so much for suggesting this. And Indra, it's really lovely to meet you. Natasha, when we talk about the community care side, this is what you're doing. I see you lift people up at scale every day. Absolute respect for the incredible energy you put into building and supporting your community. And I really want to acknowledge that. So to answer your actual question, um,
So much.
I don't subtweet people when I'm on Twitter or social media. I don't want to get into fights, but sometimes I'll see someone say something that I think is perhaps well-intentioned but off the mark or even destructive, and I won't tag them or mention them by name, but I like to use my platform to offer some counter programming where I can. And I had just seen a string of advice that day along the lines of just get up at 3 a.m. before the kids do so you can do your creative work and just cannibalize your life and health to divert resources towards your art. And I really understand that most of us don't have enough hours in the day. The pandemic has made everything worse. We're talking about a world where people have a job or multiple jobs and side hustles and second and third shift work of taking care of their children, doing elder care, taking care of their extended circles in their community. And then we say, okay, I want time for me. Where is that coming from? And there are layers to those problems. And part of the problems are we try to address those as individuals where we're trying to survive and find the time and resources to make art in a world that doesn't leave that space for us. And we're trying to do it individually instead of building a world where everybody gets the time and support and resources to lead productive, meaningful, creative lives.
Yes.
So it was seeing a lot of genuinely well-intentioned advice. And that's where I see a lot of the worst advice in creative circles on social media, people promoting ideas that they've internalized from other people that they haven't necessarily tested or thought through, or ideas based on just immense social privilege that don't apply to the rest of the world and are really alienating for people with less privilege, especially multiply marginalized people who say, you know, I don't have a trust fund. I don't have a wife raising my children. I don't have the resources that this person telling me how to live my life is throwing out there. So I want everybody to have the time, but please don't cannibalize your health and your future to try to make it happen in the present. And don't encourage other people to do that. I really am not, it was never my intention to tell people to make less art, but don't hurt yourselves and don't tell other people to hurt yourselves. Um, And so counter programming advice where I think I see people hurting themselves and encouraging others to, that's somewhere I'm going to jump in. That's where that all came from.
I call it basically a calculated risk. I mean, go for it, but don't bet the house on it.
Yeah. Well, and calculated is exactly it, isn't it? It's don't take somebody else's formula. Know what you're risking and be prepared to pay the costs for that if and when they come due.
Exactly. Yeah, completely agree.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Did anyone else have something else to add to that? I don't because I know that I spent a lot of time reading through that. I'll just add in here. I spent a lot of time reading through that tweet. I think the reason why it impacted me so much, Shala, is because I've been dealing with two autoimmune conditions for 25 years. I didn't know that I had anything wrong with me. I was just kind of like pushing through and pushing myself to the brink without realizing. I think I even may have triggered some of the things that I'm experiencing. And so those words really, they grabbed my attention. And I think it was because, of this idea that if we can stop someone else who's starting out their career from making a similar mistake, from buying into this idea that, oh, we have to push ourselves to near death in order to do our art. I think that was my sort of encouragement by your words there. So
But there's also the other side of things in a way that you love your project so much that you don't want to stop for like you don't realize even that you're exhausted. You just want to keep going. So I mean, if I could take like a little tiny aspect of it, like when I wrote the script for the project, like as soon as I finished a page and finished another page and just kept going and going and going, and before I look up at the clock, it says 2 a.m. Oh, I got to go to sleep, but I still want to keep going. So it's kind of like it's perpetuating itself in a way that, like, okay, you're doing something that you love and it requires attention, and you're more than happy to give it, and then you suffer on the other side.
Daniel, I want to come up to Montreal and cook for you and maybe wrap you in bubble paper.
Don't you threaten me with a good time.
I think this is where sometimes it's bigger than any of us individually. I really understand that kind of commitment and focus. And honestly, it's really easy for me to be hyper focused on a project and forget to eat. I struggle with that.
yeah,
I've got
me
good
too.
friends in my life who check in with me and say, I know you're on deadline. Did you eat today? And all of you are in leadership roles in the projects you do, and you take care of your people. Leaders are allowed to delegate. Sometimes the trick is to really have a good chat with and designate someone outside the immediate project to say, hey, make sure I eat, check in on me. Here's specifically what I need, and I will return that favor for you when it's your turn. But there's the passion and the commitment and the focus. I love that part too. I'm here for that. Please don't destroy yourself while you do that, and let people who love you support you in making the art that you make. Sometimes letting people in, and the non-specialists and the people who aren't directly in our fields, that's how other people get to be part of our lives and our projects too, and keep us going. Alternatively, I could come up to Montreal and make you soup. So,
You take it.
I'm loving
Sean,
this
I just wanted to hop in
Yeah.
and just say that everything that you were saying is amazing. And I think that you have a good insight, as far as it sounds like when you read a tweet, you can identify with the energy that people are putting behind that tweet and come in and turn it into a positive thing, that we can all kind of support and get behind. I think that's what I wanted to say about that tweet when I was looking at it before the show. You've created a way that we could all look at this in a positive way and to reflect it back to ourselves, which I think is it's a tribute to you.
Thank you, Andrea.
Absolutely. I definitely wanted to hop in and talk about what Daniel was talking about. Um,
Yes, please.
that community care is key. That's where that community care comes in, because I'm similar. I have a similar way of doing things, and I joke with my friends a lot about this. How like I'll get into the zone and just like lose myself and lose track of time and like just keep going, 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 and then next thing I know, I haven't eaten. The only thing I've had to drink was coffee, no water, and I'm just like jittery and like tired, and I don't know why. And it's like, duh, you didn't take care of yourself. So it's like what Charlotte said, where you have those folks around you, whether it's delegating that to someone and saying like, hey, make sure that I've eaten by this time, or like, can you make sure that like my water bottle is like in sight so I can grab it and drink some water. Um, and like that's the key. This is something that like I have latched onto in like the last few years, especially like this community care concept, because it's so important to realize that we're not an island, and we need other people to support what we're doing, especially as creatives. Like it's a rough world for us as creatives. We put our art out there, we don't know what people are going to say, how they're going to respond, and it can be frightening but also exhilarating at the same time. So like we need people in our corner who are cheering for us and supporting us and encouraging us to take care of ourselves so that we can continue to do this. Because that part in the tweet, Shala, where you were like, that bill comes due, it does. It does. Your body will tell you enough, and you will have no choice but to rest because you will have nothing else going on. You'll be unwell and you'll have to be laying in the bed. So it's definitely important to have that surrounding community supporting us.
That's
And
absolutely right.
Karen,
When I read it, my body basically tells me that it's time to go to bed when I'm reading the same line again and again and again. And not only do I not recognize that, I don't remember the line I just finished reading. So
Yeah.
this is my body telling me, go to bed. It's done. Game over.
Did I hear Indra trying to hop in there? Was that Indra?
it's okay. It's okay. No, I just wanted to hop in and just say that actually, probably to both of your points, it's interesting. But I also think if we could be conscious of our own self care, it might extend to everybody else. That we do take a meal break at the correct times. That they notice. Oh, well, hey, they're sitting down and they're eating. They're actually taking a break. So that means it's okay for me, because you've got people that look to you, and then maybe they're not self caring as much as they could because, you're on the run and, but the thing is to take 5 or 10 minutes and just eat that meal, take that cup of coffee, have a snack, and then you actually come back so much more refreshed than before, and I know that myself that, wow, I'm so happy I took that break, you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We set the tone. We set the tone for our environments as leaders. So that's so true.
We
On my
do.
end,
And
because I'm a smoker, it might have to be built in every hour and a half to actually go and take a break. So it's a blessing in disguise, maybe.
well, and to build on what Indra said, in creative circles, so often the people, especially in charge of films, are leaders and they're other oriented and you're taking care of other people. If you can't take care of yourself because it's something that needs doing, sometimes the psychological trick is to say, I'm doing this because in taking care of myself, I'm modeling the self-care that I need the people on my team to exhibit. So if you can't do it for yourself, reframe it and take care of the people around you by demonstrating that that's okay, that it's actively encouraged, and you're going to show them what that looks like.
Okay, and I'm
Exactly.
just gonna hop in right here. Thank you so much for that last comment, Shala. I'm gonna let Daniel go. He has to go to work. Everybody, wave goodbye to Daniel. Thank you for joining in on
Okay.
this first panel, Daniel.
This
It's
is
been
so much
amazing.
fun, and follow Natasha on everything. Follow everybody with that. Everybody's here. Follow everything that they're doing. This is so much fun. I can't wait for the next time.
Ah, Thank you, Daniel.
Bye.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Jack says
Thank you,
thank
you
you.
too.
And thank you, Jack, for watching, and also that unverified user for that great broadcast award. That goes to everybody here for you. Just thank everybody on the panel for bringing this great information. We're going to let Daniel hop off, wave goodbye, and have
Bye,
a great
everybody.
weekend to Daniel. Everybody else that's still hanging here, was there any last thoughts? Because I know we're running past the half hour mark. I want to make sure I let you guys get on with your day and also take care of yourselves. Any last thoughts? Let's start with Darian.
So yeah, first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for this opportunity. This conversation has been so wonderful. And it's just reiterating everything that like we've all said here. I think it's so important to remind yourself that self-care is just a crucial part of the process, and also that surrounding yourself with a community of people that support you, that bolster your art and your creativity is also so important. And then just having those moments where you just realize, like, especially those of us in the creative fields that are leading teams, that we set the tone. So if we're not taking care of ourselves, it's likely that our team is not taking care of themselves either. So we need to set the tone.
Set the tone. That's the thought. I'm setting that right there. Indra, any last thoughts here on the topic?
Yes. Well, I think first of all, I think this was a very interesting tweet. So thank you, Shola, for creating this and the thought behind it. The intention is just beautiful. It really is. And it really, it can be a benefit to both sides, to ourselves and to our teams and all the people that we work with. So thank you for creating that tweet. It's been lovely to meet everybody here. I've really enjoyed it and enjoyed listening to everybody. And thank you so much for having me on here, Natasha.
So amazing to have you both. And Shala, finally, from off screen, just look at those little eggs there and on the seat. That's Shala. Shala, thank you for bringing these ideas to the internet, first of all, and to a space that sometimes can be almost traumatizing. Sometimes Twitter, I want to say. It's nourishing. If anybody has not already followed Shala on Twitter, I encourage you to follow her accounts. It's at Shala Evans. I'm trying to scroll back up in the comments to post it on screen. But do you have any last thoughts to share with the audience just on this idea today?
Yes. And I've just sent you a link and it was wrong. So I'll give that to you again in a sec. Don't retweet that, Natasha. Thank you for your kind words, Indra. And it's been lovely to meet everybody today. I would say that we're still in this conversation. We've been focused on self-care. And Natasha, I'd love to talk to you more another day about expanding that out to the community level, because me going to my community and saying, can you do this to help me get through and take care of me, is still self-care. And me investing in my community is me, we're moving closer there, but it's the collective activities where we really start to make a difference. And in the film world, I regret that I don't have the name of the woman who's been driving this on the tip of my tongue, but there's been a big movement to set up childcare on sets among women filmmakers for a few years, and to build programs around that so that we have people, not women, but people who are primary caregivers who are freed up to pursue their filmmaking careers. This is invisible to us now because it's been a standard for so long, but in the film world, craft services is a normal thing. We provide foods on set as a standard part of a production. We do not say to everyone, work your 16-hour day, drive home, pack a sandwich for tomorrow, and come back to set. We feed our people on the set. There's a lot of things like that where we have the potential to work together in film and in other creative fields where we are building systems and programs, whether they're formal or informal, so that people's needs are met, so that we're not struggling individually against time, money, and health limitations in order to have the freedom to make art and have the health and energy and focus to make art. So I encourage everybody, when you're thinking about self-care, we live in very individual focused societies. It's so easy to focus on what do I have to do, and then the next level is what can I do for others? And that's already a leap forward. But the big leap is what can we do together? And that's where we actually make positive change and really free each other up and start to make exciting leaps with our art as well. So my last word would be, don't forget the community level and the collective level, and try to expand your thinking in those directions. I want to be better at that too. That's something that I'm working on. And there's so much untapped potential there where we could really take better care of each other.
Love it. With that thought, amazing. Thank you to each of our guests today: Indra Bartona, Darian Jordan of Dekej Media, Shala Evans, and Daniel Moskovich of Z Wolf, a Yamcha Story. We want to thank each of our panelists. A round of applause from everybody in our virtual audience from all over. And if you want to follow them, all of their socials are here in the comments on HAPS. Just hop over to our HAPS broadcast, scroll through, you will see everything there. And you'll also see a lot of this being posted on all of our socials at Young Hollywood Blast. So check out our posts there and you'll see how to connect with these amazing contributors. Thank you again, and have a great day to our panelists.
Thanks so much for having us all, Natasha.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So we're gonna let them slide off into their day, and if any of the panelists feel like hanging out in the green room, you can. I'll just be closing this down in a moment. If you have to slip off, that's perfectly fine. I do understand it's a work day and we got to get on with what we're doing, but we are so grateful here at the Blast for having all of the audience join in with this amazing panel, the first panel that I've ever moderated. All the encouragement is uh, so so grateful to you all. And what I want to do now is just let you know what's up ahead. I did promise to let you guys know that we are going to be taking a break. This is our season finale for this particular broadcast that we do on HAPS, and so this is what's going to be coming up next, which is that we are going to be on a summer break. Just a reminder that we will be on a summer break, July and August. Again, we'll be working on, making this space a more better for our community. And you can watch all of the work that we're doing and keep up to date on our Buy Me a Coffee page. That's where we're going to kind of hang out, because we're still building our website back up and all that kind of stuff too. So just a reminder that you can keep up to date with us over the summer at Buy Me a Coffee. And I'm just going to put that link up there again. And then Monday, we are going to do our final broadcast of Crowdfund Monday for this season. That is going to be where we help our community who is crowdfunding their projects to get the word out there on our broadcast. And you can join us in that on Monday at 6:30 a.m. Pacific. We are thinking about maybe changing the time for the broadcasts, because it is, maybe there's a better time to do this. We need to check in with our community and make sure that these broadcast times are working. But in the meantime, here is the Facebook event for Crowdfund Monday. I'm popping that into the comments, and that's just loading in now. But if you're in here at HAPS, you'll see that Facebook post. I'm just going to remove that preview so you can see this link. It's going to be almost, yeah, I'm not going to bother to present it on screen. There is a Facebook event. If you're here on HAPS, you'll see it in the comments, and that's where you can get reminders of the event and what's coming next. And I think that is going to be everything that we need to remind you of. That's it. So again, thank you to all of our panelists. Thank you to everybody that watched on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. You can, if you're watching the replay, thank you. And we will see you back here for a new season in the fall. And this is a great time to remind you to follow us at all our main socials. And you can pause the screen to get those, and we will see you again in the fall. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a great weekend and a great summer.